our first Boulder Chamber virtual orientation. A little unorthodox, but given the times, we are excited to be able to connect with everyone right now virtually for our first orientation. Most of our orientation is going to be covering the normal aspects, what you could call normal aspects of the Boulder Chamber. This first portion, we're going to go over a little bit of some on the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll then go through orientation and have a few panelists speak, some of our chamber employees, and then everyone will get 30 seconds to go around the room and kind of say hello and what they're up to. Then John Taylor, our president and CEO, will close it out. Then we'll open it up for questions. So ultimately, what we'll go through first is what we have available to the public with information. So if you, I'm just checking my text here to see if there's anything coming across with issues. And Boulder Chamber can go to, and this is our can we see our homepage here, Kate? Yeah, okay. So the Small Business Relief Fund is an opportunity to donate for small businesses in Boulder. You can click there for more information. We have community and business resources. This is updated daily throughout the week by our marketing team. So we have the latest updates. So as you can see here, is updated today at 10 o'clock. And there's information here for business resources, for employees, if you're an employee in the area, as well as general resources of up-to-date information on our webpage. And then also on the homepage, we have what we call kind of businesses that are open for business, and they're right here. And so if you log into your member information center, you can do a hot deal and you can have opportunities that you're currently offering to the business community here on our homepage. We also have a Facebook business response group that is what it sounds like. It's a Facebook group put together by key community leaders, including the chamber, for businesses that are open and needs that they have or services that they have. So you can join that Facebook business response group. And then we have an impact survey as well. So just on our homepage, there's a lot of information. And just so everyone knows, for the months of April, May, and June, any new members that join, we are relief fund. So that's something that we're working on. So that's our homepage. I want to make sure that I got everything. Everyone's muted, obviously, right now, but we'll go through and unmute you as we go through the orientation here. Went through the resources. All right, so let's start with orientation here. All right, so first would like to thank our sponsors of member orientation. US Bank is our presenting sponsor, so a big thank you to them. Boulder County Farmers Market is a sorry, Elaine's on here. So BTC, Boulder Transportation Connections, is a sponsor as well. City Church Boulder is a sponsor. Thank you. Print Experts, Spencer Fane, ACM, and Black Belly Market. So thank you to our sponsors of our orientation. And we'll kind of get into it. So I always like to talk, you know, when you look at the Boulder Chamber, why do we exist? And it's essentially right here. We build community through business. How do we do that? We do that really in three different areas: by supporting local business, advocating for a strong business economy, and sustaining our economic vitality. And for that first portion, I'm going to invite Cliff Harold to come on and talk a little bit the economic vitality. Cliff?
All right, thank you, Scott. I imagine everyone else is experiencing the same inconsistency in audio here. Scott has broken up a little bit. Hi, Lisa. And so I hope that I won't break up quite as much, but first and foremost, like all of us today, we want to thank you for becoming involved in the Boulder Chamber. By joining the Chamber, you've made a very strategic decision to join the leadership of not just our business community, but really our community in its entirety. Many of you are, I'm guessing, probably with smaller businesses. Some of you I know are with larger organizations, but the majority of you are probably from smaller businesses. And so when I say that you're really joining as a leader of our business community, I mean that quite seriously. Most of, in fact, 96% of all of the businesses in the city of Boulder have fewer than 50 employees, and something like 78% of all the businesses in the city of Boulder have fewer than 10 employees. So we are a small business economy. We are driven by the small businesses that make up the majority of our economy, and that includes most of you on this call today. So thank you for that, and thank you for jumping into what is a leadership role in the business community and certainly within the Boulder Chamber. As Scott said, I manage the Boulder Economic Council, which is the economic development arm of the Boulder Chamber. And our mission is very simple. Our mission is to sustain Boulder's economic vitality. Boulder has for very many decades been a leading center of economic activity, not just in Boulder County, not just in the metro area, but in many ways across the country. We're a world-class entrepreneurial community, small business community. We have incredible innovation through the university, our research labs, and individual businesses. And so our function as a part of the Chamber is to keep that going, to sustain that vitality that is so important to the community, to the state, to the nation, and even arguably to the world. So we are thrilled to have you join us as a critical part of the work that we do. And as I say, as a leader in our community, in our business environment, and throughout the region. The last thing that I will say is that this organization only exists because of you. We are a membership-based organization. We don't have much additional revenue coming in. Most of the revenue that we have that supports our operations comes from members and membership dues and sponsorships. So we literally could not do our work without you. And we want you to be as engaged as you can possibly be so that you can guide the work that we're doing and continue to refine it, make it the very best that it can be. So please look to your involvement in the Chamber as a hands-on, proactive contact sport, if you will, because that's how we thrive, that's how we continue to evolve, and that's how we continue to provide the best support, the best service that we can to you. So again, thank you again for becoming involved. I look forward to meeting all of those of you I haven't met already. And I'll turn it back to Scott to introduce our next staff person. Again, thank you all for being part of the Boulder Chamber.
Thanks, Cliff. So just a few things. There's some call-in listeners that have phone numbers listed. If you want, you can edit that on your computer and change out your name so we know your name. And anyone else, it looks like everyone else has their names. So with that, we will go to our next presenter. who is the infamous Andrea Menegal. You are up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Menegal. I am the Director of Public Affairs at the Boulder Chamber. And what our focus is for our membership is dealing with all the government affairs issues, public policy issues that affect our members and that affect the Boulder economy. What does that mean? It means every single day there is an issue that is, or decision being made at different levels of government, whether it's federal government, state government, local government, regionally. Chances are that it'll affect the business in one way, shape, or form. We're seeing that more than ever right now during COVID-19 stay-at-home orders, and how state level decisions are being translated at the local level, local ordinances that are being put in place. So every day at the Boulder Chamber, myself, my colleague Lori Call, who's our Senior Director of Policy Programs, folks like Cliff, our President and CEO, John Taylor, the rest of our team, we're all thinking through collaboratively, how do we address these issues? How do we tackle these things on behalf of our membership? How do we work together with our members in those affected industries to really make our voice be heard at those different levels of government in the community throughout the region? And we do that for you. We do that in partnership with you, but we also have a Community Affairs Council that meets once a month. That's about 45 members of the Boulder Chamber that are involved in a lot of different issues, have very diverse backgrounds. We have over 1,300 members at the Boulder Chamber, and the Community Affairs Council is a cross-section of that. So we have large companies, small businesses, folks from different sectors, but most importantly, people that represent different political perspectives or have different experiences and expertise that can inform where we are on any kind of policy decision or issue affecting our businesses and our local economy. Those recommendations we get from our Community Affairs Council on the range of issues gets taken to our Board of Directors and approved for actions that we take throughout the year. We're working every day, and periodically we're also bringing you events focused on things like conversations with our state legislators, congressional representatives, or it could be on an issue like healthcare, transportation, affordable housing, you name it, the list goes on. We look forward to having you engaged in these things. You'll see those communicated through our newsletter. Once a month, our newsletter focuses on all the advocacy issues and topics that we're taking on for you. But most importantly, we're here for you. So never hesitate to call me, to call Lori, to call John Taylor, to call Scott, to call Cliff, to call any of us. We all work together and we all work on your behalf, and we want to be talking to you because only you can articulate how these decisions and things are affecting you. So with that being said, thank you. Thank you for your investment in the Chamber. Thank you for being on this today. And I look forward to meeting you in person when we all get back together. Thanks.
Thanks, Andrea. Appreciate that. So now we'll go into arts. So we always talk about the arts in our community. They are a large economic driver in the Denver metro area. So Deborah Malden is our arts liaison and advisor. And so why the arts? Why are they so important from an economic standpoint? So as you can see, they provide about $1.85 billion of economic activity in the Denver metro area, which we are a part of. Every dollar invested gets us about $7 to $10 in total economic activity. And we have the third largest, highest concentration of artists in the nation. We also are the stewards of the Boulder Star that gets lit up during the holiday season. So look for star cards that are sold during the holidays to help support the upkeep of the star, as well as we work with Book Cliff Wines for a star wine as well. So look for that during the holiday season. So events, we'll quickly go through our events. I like to break them out into groups and programs and signature events, networking events. So we'll go quickly into our groups and programs. So we have Boulder Young Professionals. It's a group of individuals, about 3,000 of them. Age is not a requirement for this. We have people that are seasoned in their career that engage with our young professionals. They essentially volunteer their time, have a happy hour, and then have lunch and learns throughout the year. Business Women's Leadership Group meets once every other month, so 6 times a year, with key panelists and speakers. It's a great way to connect for our women leaders in the Boulder area. At this point, I'd like to introduce Karen Cruz. She's going to talk a little bit about a few programs at the Chamber that she's in charge of. Karen?
I have the privilege of running our Leadership Fellows program. We do that in conjunction with our partners, the Community Foundation. And the Leadership Fellows program is it's an inclusive leadership program targeted at emerging leaders. And the idea is, how do we connect sort of that next generation of leader with the issues that are happening in Boulder, the challenges that we're facing, Boulder County, and we also connect them with leaders who are already doing work in those areas. So every month, the program runs for about 9 months, or maybe it's 10 months, from September to July. And every month there's a different topic area. So it might be, one month it might be a focus on what's happening in education. The next one, it might be healthcare. It might be critical human needs. So it rotates every month, and we bring in amazing speakers who are actually doing really wonderful work in those areas, and we provide a connection. And those fellows also create kind of a strong cohort with their class, and then they become part of a broader alumni network. The program's been in existence for over 10 years. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, a way to get engaged in your community and kind of take your passion and really do something with it, let us know. Applications open probably around May, and then we'll be reviewing those over the summer, and then the class would start next September. And there are also scholarships available for that. So if you have questions, we've got information on our website, or feel free to reach out. But it's a really wonderful program, and really gets you a broad sense of what's happening in your community. And then I'll just move on to, we have another program we call Community Partnership Council. And this is normally when I would ask people, how many of our members here are from nonprofits? I can't see your hands, but I'll just tell you from our membership, I would say, Scott, I think it's about 12% of our members are nonprofit organizations. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
So what we want to make sure is that the Chamber here is here for all of our businesses, both for-profit and nonprofit. And what we've come up with is this idea where we can create connections and kind of build community across the for-profit and nonprofit world. That can take a lot of different forms. A lot of times it might be an event on corporate social responsibility. We normally do something in partnership with the Conference of World Affairs, where we take, say, a speaker that's happening at a national level, and we bring it in, bring that speaker to the Chamber in the evening, and they do a collaboration with local leaders. That was scheduled for April, so that's not going to happen for us, but we'll take a look at other opportunities like that. But it's really about building relationships and connection and interesting collaborations across the for-profit and nonprofit communities. So if that's an interest area for you, again, feel free to reach out. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Karen. Also, I completely forgot to mention, if you see behind me here, we have our wonderful mural that was painted on the Boulder Chamber in the fall. So just another shout out to the arts and their importance in our community. So let's continue on here. Ambassadors, we have ambassadors that are engaged with the Boulder Chamber. We have a little over 20 volunteers that volunteer their time to connect with new members, help us out at events. They're really an extension of the Chamber staff and a very important part of the Boulder Chamber. And we're very lucky to have our ambassadors, especially since this week is Volunteer Week. So a big shout out to them. Ambassadors are appointed annually in January. So if there is interest in being an ambassador, look for opportunities in the fall to connect on that. And then we also have leads groups. Peggy runs our leads group. It meets Mondays, and it's an opportunity for exactly what it sounds like, businesses to come and connect and pass leads through people that they've met through their networks to their leads group network. So there's an opportunity there to connect. And then as we continue on, Andrea mentioned a little bit about the Community Affairs Council that he runs that works with us and our board to come out with positions, policy and advocacy related. Standing Strong is another segment of our members that join and support us above regular membership. So we call them our Standing Strong partners. And then with Cliff's group, he has investors in the Boulder Economic Council that buy into the economic vitality of Boulder and really support that through his work. So those are kind of our groups and programs. Now we'll go into our signature events that we have throughout the year. At the beginning of the year, we have our economic forecast. That's normally in January. That essentially takes an outlook of what the year has to come from an economic standpoint. So we have speakers this year. We had a state demographer, and then we have Rich Webekin from CU kind of do an outlook for the community for us from an economic standpoint. We have our celebration of leadership, which is in the beginnings of March normally, and it's an event that celebrates our key leaders in the community. It's a nomination process to look for correspondences on that to nominate individuals in the community for that event. It's normally late fall, early winter for that event in March. Our Boulder Economic Summit happens over the summer, and it's an event that focuses on a key topic in the community, and we have panelists. It's normally a half day, very educational and informative, and very reactive to what's happening currently in the community. So look for more information on that for this summer, late summer. Our golf tournament. So our golf tournament happens every summer, and it's an opportunity for, and normally I'll ask at this point, how many golfers do we have in the room? Because we have a disc golf tournament, and it's normally more disc golfers than regular golfers. But look for this, it'll be July 30th this year. We also partner with CU to kick off the football season for our buff lunch towards the end of August at Folsom Field. Women Who Light the Community is an event beginning of September that focuses on 6 amazing women doing great things in our community. Again, a nomination process. But what's really nice about this event and differentiates this from our other events is we have an emerging leader. So there's normally a high school student that's getting recognized for their work in the community. Look for that in September. Battle of the Industry Bands will be happening next year in coordination with Arts Week, and it's essentially an event. It's what it sounds like. It's a battle of industry bands. So a lot of these great companies that we have in our community have talented employees that play instruments and are in a band. And so this last year we had a band from Google, we had a band from Pop Sockets, we had a band from Berg, Hill Greenleaf, Rashidi, and they essentially just jam out at Eton Hall, and it's voted on by the audience on who has the best industry band. It's a fun event. So look for that next spring. And then we have a Spree, which is our longest standing event that celebrates the entrepreneurial spirit in our community, and that's normally late fall, early winter. So those are our signature events. Now we have our networking events. So we have Coffee with John quarterly. It's an opportunity to grab a coffee with our president and CEO, John Taylor. And if you're not a morning person, guess what? We have a beer with John as well. So you can have a beer with John in the evening. And again, that's quarterly. So it's an opportunity to connect with our president and CEO, who is here in the orangish type of shirt. Can't quite get what that color is. So that's our beer with John. And then we have our business before hours, which happens every other month in the morning. It's a great networking opportunity, about an hour and a half of time for you to network with the local business community. And then again, we have the business after hours as well. So going through that, I'm going to cover a little bit of Andrea's events and Lori, so our advocacy events. So we have policy roundtables that are ongoing that focus on key policy issues that are happening in our city, our county, and our state. So it's local, regional, and statewide. So look for those. Those normally have about a month leeway because they are reactive to something happening in the community. The state legislative forum happens every spring. We go down and meet with our legislators at the state capitol and our Governor Polis. We have our top tier elected leader reception, which happens, what it sounds like. We have an elected leader that we host to talk with the community. It may be around a specific topic, or it may just be like a general forum. Years that we have a city council election, we will host a meet and greet in late summer to meet the candidates running for office here at the city council. And then about 6 months before that, in the spring, we have our College of Political Knowledge, which we host here at the Boulder Chamber as well. How to register for an event. So this is a question that I think Kate and I can say we get often. It's very simple. You do not need to remember a password that you set up 6 months ago or that we ask you to change every month. You pretty much just go to our website, go to our events and programs, and click on the event that you want to go to, and you hit register now. Once you hit that button, it just asks for your email address. So you do not need to remember your password, just your email address, the one that you have signed up for your account with the Boulder Chamber. And then this is the part that people get hung up on, but what you want to make sure and do, and just click add attendee so you can add yourself to the event. And here's the information. You pick what type of a ticket you'd like, and then fill out your information and go through the process of registering for an event. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Kate Cook, our member relations specialist, to talk about our member referral program and our member advantage program. So Kate, you are up.
Hello, everybody. So fun to see your names on our attendee list and your faces soon. So most of you I've spoken with either in person or on the phone or via email. And what I like to do is in your head kind of think like, how many of you were referred by a friend or a fellow member? And one of those things that we have is a member referral program. And for anybody that you do refer, or whoever referred you, they received a gift card of their choice to either Oscar Blues or McGuckin's Hardware. So keep that in mind as well when we do future RFPs for this program, if you want to be a participant and be part of that. It's very exciting. And thanks, Scott, for moving that along. Our next is our Member Advantage program. And we have various participants, members. So we've got a healthcare program for 5 employees or more teams. You can access that. BizWest, an automatic subscription for the first year and a discount going forward. They've got some great news on everything, keeping us up to date. And Ego Car Share, all members receive a free membership as well as $75 driving credit, and all employees on your team. So make sure to let people know about that. Office Depot, got discounts from 5 to 75% off of different products, printing and copying, etc. Great for promotional products. And Print Experts as well, a local company here. They've got a flat rate discount as a member, so utilize them. I know we've been doing some work with them currently as well. And then last but not least, we've got our prescription savings coupon card, and this is available for anybody, all employees. And I've heard some people that have gotten some discounts for their animals and different prescriptions they need for that. So take advantage. And then moving into our member information center, along with registering for events, this is one of our my biggest questions that I get asked, and that is how to log in. So if many of you on here are new members, so whatever email you signed up with when you filled out your application. That is your login email. And then you can add employees from there. So you just enter your username, and this one you do need a password. This is what that home screen will look like. You can customize it with a photo or a logo. Most important thing to pay attention to here are the hot deals, where Scott's moving that little arrow, and the news releases. And those are things that get tweeted out through our Twitter feed, and as well go onto our Facebook. We have our events where Scott's now moving that arrow, and those events get posted onto our website, as well as so we have our website, and then that gets promoted through our social media as well. And then we have the company information where you can update that. This is what your profile will look like, and you can update that as much as you want. You can hide different things, add different features. So check yours and see what it looks like. Social media, as I mentioned, you use Twitter quite a bit. Facebook is growing always, and LinkedIn as well. We have groups that you can join for our Business Women's Leadership group as well as general. And anytime you want people to see your information, you can tag at Boulder Chamber, and that will get wrapped up into our social media as well. One of the very fun things that we do that I get to join you all for is ribbon cuttings. And if you have any type of celebration, it could be a grand opening, ribbon cutting, or maybe you've been open for 10 years and you want to celebrate that. So let us know. We've got the goofy scissors and the ribbon. And this moves us into talking about you. So we're going to have each of you share who you are, your company. You get 30 seconds, and I will be timing over here with my handy dandy little timer. Got a little bell for you, and I will move each of you into a place where you'll be able to talk. And I have one phone number here, so I'll just say start with Lisa, who's an ambassador, but the person who's a phone number, I'll just say the first 3 of your phone number so that you know that I'm referring to you. Okay, so Lisa, and here you go. And whenever you're ready, you can share who you are and what your business is.
Can you hear me, Kate?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Lisa Bondi. I'm an ambassador with the Boulder Chamber, and I'd like to welcome all the new members. The Chamber is a great organization, and I look forward to meeting you all in person someday when we get back to events. And the business I work in public relations and public affairs. I've worked a lot in the Boulder community. So I welcome all of you, and like I said, look forward to meeting you.
Thank you, Lisa. And for anybody that does not want to have a video show up, please message me directly. Otherwise, I'm going to just go through my alphabetical list and move you each into that. So I'm going for the phone number person here, who's 720-427. And I'm going to allow you to talk. It doesn't give me a video option, but I'll give you 30 seconds here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great, I just popped up. I apologize, I don't have my video feed going. So my name is Kristen Moorfield. I am the Director of HR at SparkFun Electronics. SparkFun Electronics is basically, we're an embedded electronics manufacturer and retailer that tries to make electronics as accessible as possible, no matter who you are or what your background is. Let's see, I've been there for about 9.5 years. And yeah, we're in Niwot. We are cool. Well, we're cool for a lot of reasons, but one reason is that we do actually do manufacturing on site in Niwot, so just at 52 and 119 across from IBM. And yeah, you know, in these crazy times, we are an essential manufacturer, which is awesome. So we've got about half our staff up and running every other day.
Thank
yeah,
you.
No problem.
That's the bell. Oh, thanks, Kristen. And now we're moving to Alyssa Pinsker. I'm gonna move you real quick here. And in about 2 seconds, you should be available and ready to have your video. You there?
I'm here. I'm here. I have video.
Yay!
Hey, it's good to see you. So I wrote my speech. My name's Alyssa Pinsker. I run Girl Gone Global Communications. I help businesses and individuals share their stories with top-tier media and the world. I'm a writing and storytelling coach, and I help businesses tell their stories. And all my offerings are on alyssapinsker.com. And I'm thinking of running an essay writing class for COVID right now. So I'll offer that on my website. I'm just really glad to be here.
Wonderful, thank you. And that's just 2 seconds early, so thank you. And love the idea of an essay writing group. I'm gonna mute you for now and we're gonna move on. Thank you, Alyssa. And Ashley Garcia, I have you up next. Ashley, are you there? Okay. Let's try that one more time. Okay, Ashley, are you there? It looks like you got it worked. Okay, we're gonna keep moving to the next person. And the next person is Becky. Here we go. Becky, are you there? Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna give it a second there. Oh, there we are. Yay. Hello, Becky.
Okay. My name is Becky. I'm a CPA. Hooray for July 15th. Yay. I work with ACM. I just started there December. I'm originally from Wisconsin and just moved to Colorado from Montana. But I've been a practicing CPA for about just shy of 10 years. So I do individuals, businesses, and I also specialize in nonprofits. So I'm just looking for more ways to get involved into the community.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. And I will move us on to Caroline. You'll be next. There we go. That should work. Caroline, you there?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Perfect. There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
Nice. So I'm Caroline. I am the Marketing and Communications Director at eTown Hall. eTown is a nonprofit, nationally syndicated radio, broadcast, podcast, multimedia, and events production company. Our podcast is musical, social, and environmental based. We always say that music's sort of our Trojan horse and people stay for the message. And our hall, which is solar powered, is also a great community hub for other events in town. So we are excited when things lighten up and we're able to have the people of Boulder back in the hall.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Caroline. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
And next I'll be moving to Chelsea Phillips. And that should be active, Chelsea. Looks like you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, here we go. Hi, I am the general manager for Crunch Fitness. We are a new gym that opened for a solid 48 hours. It's 1850 30th Street. We are just looking forward to reopening safely and getting to know everyone in the community.
Beautiful. Thank you, Chelsea, for joining us and for coming to Boulder in those 48 hours. We are moving to Elaine, you'll be next.
And Elaine is a sponsor with Boulder Transportation Connections. So Elaine, thank you for your support as a sponsor.
And you should
Hi, here I am. Thanks for having me, and great to see everybody. And oh wait, there, I can make myself visible. BTC is the local transportation management organization, and we help on your commute. In the past, we were doing a lot of emphasis on eco passes. We would promote Bike to Work Day. Well, that's not going to be happening in June now. We've just got word we will celebrate that in September. However, we are doing a lot to help with the telework support for your businesses. And I'll post a link to a resource page we have. We've also been doing a lot of events in conjunction with the Chamber just to help you feel more comfortable with this new normal we have of doing a lot more by telework. So feel free to reach out to us if you have questions, need assistance on any of these areas.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Elaine. We appreciate your work and support. And the next person I'll be moving to is Elizabeth McGuire. Looks like that should be active. And you are still muted. Perfect.
Okay, there it is. Hi, I'm Elizabeth McGuire, the Executive Director of the Colorado Music Festival and Center for Musical Arts, and we are a nonprofit. Our mission is to inspire and connect community members of all ages by providing access to the best of the world's best education and performance. So obviously a lot of that is shifted into online realm right now. We're still waiting to see what we're going to be able to do with the festival that's supposed to start on June 25th. And that's pretty much it for me. We're shifting. The word pivot comes up a lot, and that's what we're doing. We're pivoting.
Wonderful. It has been a frequent word. We appreciate you and appreciate putting the energy into pivoting, because I have appreciated many live concerts myself.
Thank you.
The next person coming up will be Jenna Oliver. Thanks, Elizabeth. And Jenna, you should be active. And you, perfect, yay.
My name is Jenna Oliver, and I am the Director of Development at Ocean First Institute. Ocean First is part of the Ocean First family. There's the dive shop and the education organization, if you're familiar with those. We are the nonprofit arm, and our focus is on the intersection of research, education, and conservation. Typically right now we're in the schools in St. Vrain and in Boulder Valley, but right now we also have pivoted, it's a good word, adapted to the virtual format, and some of you might have joined us for the Megalodon webinar that we had last week with the Smithsonian, but our executive director is one of the premier shark experts in the world, which is kind of strange in Boulder, but we bring the reef to the Rockies, and we teach kids about the ocean. We bring them the wonders of the ocean since they can't go there, and we talk a lot about the connection to the greater environment. We're doing several projects locally. We do creek cleanups, we do microplastics research with Lyons High School and Silver Creek High School. Right now we're doing a red-bellied dace, the northern red-bellied dace.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I know, is that your 10 seconds? Anyway, we do a lot of research and projects that deal with local environment as well.
Beautiful, thank you so much. And you were one of those members that joined right before all of this. Yeah. So we appreciate your engagement and pivoting also to getting all of your things online. Okay, our next person will be Jolene Lockwood. And you should be active.
Yeah, hi, Kate. It's so nice to see you. Yeah. I'm Jolene Lockwood. I'm here in northern Colorado in Windsor, outside of between Fort Collins and Greeley. And I just started a company called Cognitive Consultancy. It's been 30 plus years in education, along with some international work with leadership consulting and educational consulting. And so bringing the whole, not only cognitive coaching into, schools and things, but also I'd like it to branch out into businesses. But also I'm a Dare to Lead facilitator for the Brene Brown group. And so bringing that in to really support people, especially in these uncertain times, to be both courageous and vulnerable at the same time. So yeah, that's what we're doing, is trying to get it out there to folks.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your work. And I know that's all online as well and listed in our hot deals. So
yes, thank you.
And that work is amazing. I've done some of that Brene Brown work.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised at how well the online events are actually going.
Yay!
That's been a real nice surprise.
Love that. Our next person will be Lisa Kapoor, and I will put her in. Okay. Let's see. Lisa, looks like your audio is on.
Am I on?
Yes, I can hear you. You have to turn your video up if you want us to see your face.
All right. So the system kicked me out and then it brought me back in. My name's Lisa and I work at the University of Colorado. But I will be retiring next Thursday, a week from today. So I'm looking to volunteer with the Chamber of Commerce. I used to be very active about 20 years ago. So I want to continue being active with the Chamber, and a lot has changed. So I'm here.
Yay. Thank you, Lisa. And it's been great to have you at some of the happy hours as well. Thanks for joining us and coming back. Fabulous. We will move to Louise. You will be next. And that should be active. Looks like you're still muted and don't have your video on. Louise, are you there?
I am
yes,
here.
there you go. Perfect. Fabulous.
Okay, you have already gotten an introduction from our executive director, Liz McGuire, but I'm the corporate and major gift advisor with the Colorado Music Festival and Center for Musical Arts. And we so appreciate the support of the Chamber. And I think that at this time, with all the challenges that we're facing, we're reaching out to all the incredible benefits that the Chamber offers. And with the festival up at Chautauqua and the things we are doing at the center, we're doing online classes. And I love seeing that we have people from other East County like Windsor and all of that, and the tremendous outreach that you are doing for us. And a big thanks to John Terr as well. We go way, way back. Yes, hi. You know, I heard the other day that we were all in the same storm and we're just in different boats. And that just really struck home with me. And I feel like with our organization, with the two different sides, with the festival and the center, that is really, really true. And somehow there's going to be some great silver linings come out of all of this. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. That's a great analogy. And thanks for being here. We will move next to, as we go down the alphabet, it takes a little longer to scroll. Next we have Margot Berkowitz, And Mary should be active now. And beautiful, yay.
Oh, Amazon just rang my doorbell. Sorry, dogs are going. Sorry. I am a business attorney. I started my own practice about 5 months ago or so. It's called cloudburstcounsel.com. So basically offering outsourced general counsel for smaller businesses or an overflow commercial, corporate, employment types of matters for organizations that already have a legal function. So if any of you need help or know of folks that might need help, please let me know. I've been in practice for about 16 years in California and Colorado, so I'm glad to be part of the chamber.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And we are glad to have you and you as a resource as well. I'm sure lots of people need your support right now.
Yeah, if any.
Oops, sorry, that got you off. Please feel free to text that into the text group. The next person is Merrick's, who's also an ambassador. We already kind of reviewed what the ambassadors are doing, but just feel free to introduce yourself and maybe a tiny bit about your role here with us. And you should be on.
All right. Hi, my name is Mirix. I run Plan Ahead Events Boulder, so we've had kind of a crazy month. A lot of my contracts have pivoted, and instead of bringing 500 people to San Antonio next week to talk about water conservation, we're doing 100 recordings and setting up a virtual platform to host an online conference. So I have been with the Chamber for about 6 years, and really am grateful for the opportunity to connect and engage with so many people who are just passionate about making Boulder a better place. And so that's my favorite thing about this group of people.
Yay, thank you, Merix. And thanks for joining us and hopping in.
Thanks for having me.
We will move to Nate Rothenberg. You'll be next. And scroll down here to you. Oh, let's see. Did that work, Nate? It looks like maybe you signed off right as I clicked your name. Maybe you didn't want to talk. Okay, so I'm going to move that to Patty, and if Nate hops back on, we'll scoot around to Nate. Patty, here we go. And there you go. I'm just going to unmute yourself. Yay!
Hi, my name is Patty Breach, and I run the Purpose Collective, which is a consulting firm that helps social good organizations with their digital marketing and operational efficiency. And actually, one thing that we're doing right now during this COVID crisis is offering free office hours, as we're calling them, to anyone who just wants an hour to talk through whatever you're struggling with. So we've been doing a lot of those. It's been so fun for me just to be able to feel like I'm contributing in some small way. So if any of you have digital marketing questions, let me know.
Sounds like you timed that exactly, because that was 30 seconds on the dot. As an Enneagram 1, sounds like maybe you would have done that. No. Thank you, Patty, and thanks for joining us virtually. I just happened to know that tidbit about Patty. Okay, next we are moving to Taylor, and let's see here. And one quick second, Taylor, sorry about that. Okay, your microphone is on.
Hi friends, my name is Taylor Mann. I am with Burgess Group at Compass, and I am also the executive admin of the Colorado Green Building Guild, so I'm not sure which email is showing up right now because I use Zoom for both. But Colorado Green Building Guild is a nonprofit trade organization representing a wide range of green building leaders and serving the community at large by making green building common practice and accessible to all. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions. And I definitely did set an alarm.
Beautiful. Well, when I started the clock, you still have a few more seconds, but thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much.
And yeah, we appreciate the work you do, and the tour that you do as well is awesome. Curious to hear if and when that goes. Okay, so the next person we have lined up is Tony Parisi, and this will be our final introduction. And looks like you are active.
Oh, hey.
Yay, hi.
I'm Tony Parisi. I'm the Senior Director of Event Technology with Image Audio Visuals. We are a full service event company. We do live event support as well as custom install and integration. Last year, we launched our eAttend platform, which is a full virtual platform for meetings, as well as archiving and e-commerce. It has taken off due to the circumstances, which is a little fortuitous for us, but I'll be really excited to get back to live events soon.
Yay, thank you so much, Tony, and so glad to have you in your dual company that has both platforms, so that's great. Let's see. And with that, I think we will move it back to Scott. That's everybody. Let me make sure I didn't skip anybody. Oh, Kelly, looks like I missed Kelly. I am going to put you here. Sorry, Kelly, you didn't get into the alphabet, and you are now active. Okay, you there?
Sorry, unmuted.
Oh, you're great.
Sorry. Yeah, skip me.
Sorry.
I am, this is Kelly Malin. I'm a business broker with Touchstone Business Advisors, and I help business owners sell their businesses. I actually also work with buyers too. That's a lesser portion, and small business consulting as well. So despite all of the COVID madness, believe it or not, people are still selling their businesses. If your business was successful prior, it's not being discounted because of COVID, and there are deals that are still happening and buyers that are still out there. Bank lending has slowed down things, but all in all, it's not as bad in the small business world as one might think.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and sorry for the wait there.
No
Glad to
worries.
have you on the call. And the last person is Ashley. Looks like you're still on the call. So Ashley, if you are here, I'm going to give you one more shot. And let's see. Okay, looks like that was successful. Are you here? Okay. Oh, yes, there you go. Yay! Okay, I see that you unmuted yourself, but I don't hear you. Does anybody else hear her? Okay, Ashley, you might have to chat us who you are because I don't hear anything, and I'm not 100% certain which company you're here with. So chat us in the chat box, and I can read it out afterwards. Otherwise, we will move on to back to Scott.
Thanks, Kate. Wow, I wish everyone, we need to give Kate a round of applause. I mean, going through all that and managing it as smooth as you did, that was great. So thank you, Kate. I know that wasn't easy.
Oh,
so
and I just saw the message. It's Ashley with Blue Federal Credit Union. But I'm not sure why it's not working. I'm sorry.
All right. Hi, Ashley. If you can hear us, great partner of ours, credit union, Blue Federal Credit Union. Look on our Facebook. We have a few posts of them that they're running, some seminars. So they're just a great community partner. And you can get more information on their website as well. But we will move now on to, if I can get there, our welcome from John Taylor. So John's going to talk a little bit about COVID-19 and what the Boulder Chamber is doing. If you have any questions, because we hopefully will have some time afterwards for some questions, put them in the Q&A down at the bottom so that John can answer them when he's done with his 3 things. Right, John? I unmuted. Nope.
There we go. So yeah, welcome. And I so enjoy just learning from everybody about their businesses, and I appreciate that the technology challenges, and so thank Kate for working with everybody to overcome that. We're all working through this. I say the biggest news is that I don't look like that guy in that picture anymore, as you can tell. I've got my COVID scruff on, but you know, I'm going to be relatively quick because I want to give it time for questions and thoughts from all of you. So 3 things. 1, just a little bit of a sense of just where things are in the response and now considering recovery. Just a little bit about what the Boulder Chamber has been doing, and then just some words of appreciation. So first, just where are we in the COVID-19 situation? 1, you know, we know that so many businesses have suffered dramatically, and they're just heart-wrenching stories for us. They are our friends, they are members and partners of ours with the Boulder Chamber. So we are actively working and partnering with those businesses that think about mostly the restaurants, think about any activity that has social engagement as a part of it. Those are the ones that tend to be struggling the most. But I will say that it's not all bad news, and I appreciated the comment about you know, there's business activity, and just, you know, even small businesses are still holding their value. And you know, why is that? Because we are so fortunate in Boulder to have a relatively diverse economy with a number of different industry sectors. Think biotech, natural products, outdoor industry, manufacturing, technology, et cetera. We've always talked about how important it is to maintain that, and we're definitely in a position to benefit from that as we go through this COVID-19 experience and work toward recovery, because the hope is that those businesses will maintain some of their strength. Think of natural products in particular is one that's doing really well as people shop in supermarkets now for a variety of products that our producers provide. Those businesses and their workforce and their teams and their resources they bring to our community hopefully will be the foundation of our recovery as we get through this. So the entire picture is not as bleak as it might be in other communities, but there's no question every individual story of a challenge is one that we care about, let alone the public health issues that are paramount that we address as a community. So what are we doing about it? The Boulder Chamber focused in 2 areas as we approach this. 1, information, just making sure that we were providing the assets and the resources to all of you. And I imagine this came up. I'm just getting a text from Tyler. I want to make sure I got, okay. To provide the resources to our businesses. So they knew whether they could operate, how they could operate. If they're closing down, what support sources are there for them and for their workforce. So make sure that you check out boulderchamber.com or refer that to any folks who you think might be in need of support during this time. That is a critical resource for all businesses across the county. We're not discriminating based on membership. Second, financial resources. We wanted to make sure that we brought dollars to our community and help businesses get access to it as soon as practical. So we worked very closely with our partners at the Small Business Development Center to identify and track the resources that are available, emergency resources, the Paycheck Protection Program, the EIDL grants, and then set up the programs to directly connect our businesses to those resources and to provide them with the assistance they might need to have those resources accessible to them. So we're helping to facilitate that But we also recognize that businesses have short-term needs to transition through this period. And so in addition, we set up what's called the Small Business Relief Fund. And we had the application period ended last Monday, but it is a grant program. We have about 400,000, hopefully getting more funds to facilitate small grants to our businesses for supplies, for marketing services, for better internet connections, the things that they need to sustain during this time. So that's an important asset that the Boulder Chamber, in partnership with great members of our community, the Community Foundation and the City of Boulder, setting up the fund and contributing significantly, but Zayo, Google, Twitter, Brad Feld and Amy Batchelor, just some wonderful folks in our community. And then the last thing I'll say that we're very focused on is advocacy and making sure that we're representing the interests of our business during this time. Just one example, you'll be looking, if you see the Daily Camera, we'll have an opinion piece in there saying, hey, listen, as we bend the curve on the health front, we need to start addressing very quickly the individual needs of our businesses so that we're not just closing big swaths of industries, but we're getting inside the guts of your businesses and then coming up with strategies, creative, innovative strategies that will help you reopen in a safe manner for yourself, your workforce, and your customers. So advocacy is a big part of our effort, including regulatory changes that will help you get through this. So the last thing I'm going to say, and then we'll open up to questions and comments, is a thank you. And I say the 3 thank yous, that was what Scott was referencing. But what are those? One, I thank you for joining the Chamber and being a part of our family. There's never a more critical time that we get your support. Many businesses are struggling now and having to make decisions about their ability to invest in the Chamber organization. We think it's a valuable investment for them, but we know that others are going to have to step up and support our work on behalf of our business community. So your investment in us is so appreciated and critical. Second, I thank you on behalf of our business community and the mission of the Boulder Chamber. Your investment in yourself and in the Chamber is about supporting your business success. We are all about making you a successful business person and your business to thrive. And so your success helps us drive our mission of supporting you and the Boulder economy. And then finally, a thank you on behalf of your role and our role as the community partners. We always say we build community through business. Being a successful partner in that means that the Boulder Chamber is allowing for a successful economy that drives the benefits and the assets of a community that we all love and cherish. So thank you for being a partner with us in helping support and lift our community in these most challenging times. So that's my few thoughts, but I want to open it up and hear from all of you. Just questions, comments, suggestions, all that would be appreciated. Turn it back to you, Kate. Or Scott, whoever's just guide me through this.
All right, Kate, you're on mute. So if anyone wants to put anything in the Q&A or show their hand up for questions for John, we can do that now. And if there aren't any questions, I don't see.
We know you got some questions out there.
If no one has a question, I will add, I can always riff for more. So just, I'll warn you on that.
Let's see, I'm going to check the chat to see. No?
Well, let me just say one other thing, just to offer just an additional perspective. So we have been very, very focused on response to the initial, I call it a wave, tidal wave of the COVID washing over all of us and creating such terrible consequences for our economy, for individual businesses. But as we see the curve bend, we are starting to talk and build a framework for recovery. And so what you will hear from us, and we will engage our membership in this, is we want to understand what has been the results of the COVID-19. What impact have they had on our businesses individually, our economy overall, and specific industries? So how do we start by understanding that and assessing it, both with economic data, but also with roundtable discussions with industry and business leaders to hear from them what are the challenges they're facing now with their efforts to recover, and how can we help them? We then plan to build a recovery strategy around those suggestions and that input. And the idea is to help build a plan that drives the most efficient and strongest recovery possible. So that's going to be our focus now as we're moving from the response to recovery period. Is there any question there, Kate?
There's some questions. I think, Karen, are you on this? Someone has some questions on leadership fellows. Looks like Lisa is asking, is it the same as Leadership Boulder? And then there's a question on how much Leadership Fellows is, and then a question on the Community Partnership Council.
Okay, so Leadership Boulder, and this is actually before my time, so John can jump in here if I get it wrong, or somebody else. It was a program that the Boulder Chamber ran years ago. And we then evolved that program to form a partnership with the Community Foundation. And then that is the current day Leadership Fellows program. So there's a wealth of a long-term set of alumni from the original program. And then the more recent program focused on inclusive leadership, and it has that partnership. And the current cost is, at least last year, was $1,500 for, I think, the 10 or 11th month program. It's a half-day program for most of those months with a full-day orientation, and there definitely are scholarship opportunities available. Was there another question, Scott?
Yeah, someone was talking more about the Community Partnership Council. So I know Conference of World Affairs we partnered with, but and that was Patty Breach.
So I mean, I don't know if you have a specific question, but basically, we're always looking for creative opportunities, and it's about sort of bringing people together. We've had interesting conversations, say for example, about collaborations, like an example where a for-profit and a non-profit have formed really unique working relationships. Like for example, I think it was Danone White Wave were donating almost 1% of their output of fresh milk to one of the community food shares. And so just highlighting how can these different organizations work together to be stronger together. Were there other questions?
John, no, I think that was it. John, there's a question for you on if there's going to be a second round for the small business relief fund.
Patty added to her question.
Oh.
Well, Karen's there. She said, are you looking for more members on the Community Partnership Council? How does that work, and how often do they meet?
So the program.
You're frozen, Karen.
You can't want. Maybe I'll just step
more of that. So much of what I was just saying, we're realizing more and more. So much of what our work at the Chamber is really community focused, and so it's becoming more core to what we do every day, and it already is. And so we're trying to figure out how we evolve that program further than where it is today. So, but I'd be happy to talk to you offline if you want to. I'm on the website. John, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I was just going to only add to emphasize that. We started with the theme of the Community Partnership Council as sort of an adjunct committee, and we just started realizing, as we've gone through, and if you look at our values, community is at the core of our values. So rather than necessarily a committee, we just are talking about as a staff team initially, but just to give you a sense, prior to our previous to our conversation with our board, how do we potentially just build a work plan around those activities and integrate into it all the things we're currently doing, everything from our work with the Boulder Star to our commitment to nonprofit community development and other community service goals. So that's the kind of conversation we're having, and I think what it symbolizes is just even a further embodiment of our mission, building community through business, and with community again at the core.
And then, John, there was a question on if there's going to be a second round for the small business relief. Someone missed the deadline.
Yeah, I probably not at this point. I say that hesitantly because we don't, this could go on significant period, and then we might want to reconsider that. I mean, part of it, just to be totally transparent, is it's just it's a capacity of those who are helping us to build that fund. And so, we're still out there fundraising, trying to address all of the needs that were identified through the applications. We don't have all of that covered now. So that's just something that we're trying to address. But I don't foresee it right now, but that's not a definitive. And I apologize to the individual who it sounds like missed that deadline.
Are there any other questions? Let's see. No, I don't think so. All right. First virtual, hopefully last one. Right? Be great to see everyone's faces in person. So, John, do you want to just close us out?
Yeah, I'll close it out and just say, I mean, a core of our work at the Boulder Chamber is the people. And so I think Scott's comments right there reflect just our desire to get back to that personal interaction that we just so enjoy and is so much a part of who we are and the work that we do at the Chamber. So this is a challenging time, no question. Our connection virtually with all of you lifts us and lifts me. But I will say that we just look forward to getting back and supporting our members in their success. And the last thing I'll say is, you saw the team at work. We are, I love the team at the Boulder Chamber, the individuals that I get to work with, and they do such hard work on behalf of our membership. So just know that we're out there working hard for you, and look forward to reconnecting very shortly in a more personal and physical way. So look forward to seeing y'all. Thank you.
All right, I think that concludes our member orientation virtually. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Be well, be safe, and we look forward to seeing you in person, hopefully very, very soon, as long as it's safe. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.